I heard from an interior decorator that you should karate chop your pillows. I'm so freaking sick. I'm over it. I'm just feeling extra spicy today, guys. I'm very sorry, but it's just where I'm at today. I am coming to you from my living room. Believe it or not, I have the house to myself for a little bit. I just felt like it's just time for cozy. Running shorts on, I have a hoodie on. It's like 65 degrees out. It's very, very sad and gloomy, so I am feeling fantastic today. This is the best my voice has sounded in over a week now, so please excuse my voice and excuse my fridge if you hear it running. Hello, my spooky baby darlings. Welcome back to Terror Tuesday. I am Jeani, and if you are new here, thank you for tuning in. And if you're not new here, welcome back to the show. I'm trying so hard to embrace the natural hair, but boy, do my jeans make it hard. Today's case is going to be a little bit different because I am going to report on a current case where not all of the answers have been given quite yet. So I moved you guys closer. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So today's story is about a very, very sweet girl, just 16 years old, just graduated high school over a year early with honors. So she was a very good girl. She was very smart, absolutely brilliant. She was born and raised in Truckee, California, and she was raised by her mother, Lindsay, and her father, Daniel. She has an 8-year-old brother that absolutely adores the shit out of her, just absolutely thinks the world of her. Truckee, California is known to be kind of a rural area. It's not really the normal California that you think of. It's not like the LA Hollywood type of stuff. So let's talk about Kylie. She is known by her friends and family as the sweetest girl. Everyone loved to be around her. She was always laughing and joking. Her family was very, very proud of her. Kylie is 5'7", so an absolute model. She has long blonde hair and gorgeous hazel eyes, as her family described her. She has one small tattoo on her side that says 17, and she also has a cute little nose ring. And she was going to be pursuing her dream to go to Sierra College this fall. As we all probably can imagine, Kylie was pretty popular and, kind of very well known in her school, very well known in her area. So when there was the annual back to school bash this summer on August 6th, I'm sure you and I can both assume that she was one of the first people to be invited. Some people said that it was an end of the school year party, and some people said that it was kind of like a back to school party, while others said that it was a goodbye to the kids going off to college. Either way, not only high school and college kids arrived. It was said that several adults were there. Why do grown adults hang out with high school kids? When I was in high school and I hung out with older people, I was like, yeah, I am so cool. But now that I'm 25 years old, the last place I would ever be caught dead at is a high school party. High school kids are so annoying. I would hate to go back in time to the parties that I went to and see how I was behaving and how my friends were behaving and how obnoxious and annoying we all were. We move on. So this party was taking place near the Prosser family campgrounds. This campground is known to be in a very heavily wooded area, lots of lakes. In fact, it was just north of Lake Tahoe, lots of wilderness. So these kids every year would park their cars kind of around the campground and turn their headlights on because at this time the area was so dry that they could not even start a bonfire. This campground was only 12 miles from Kylie's house, and Kylie had been to this campground several times, so she was no stranger to this area. She knew it pretty well, although it was, you know, heavily wooded. The roads were kind of narrow and a lot of them were gravel roads. It was stated that Kylie had been to a couple of, you know, like the high school parties before, and both of her parents said that she was a very good girl. She worked so hard in school. She was really honest with her parents. So when she said that she was wanting to go to this party, they didn't bat an eye. They knew from experience that Kylie would never, ever drive intoxicated, and she would never, ever get into a vehicle with someone who was intoxicated. She would always find a sober ride or call her parents to come get her, or she would stay at the place where the party was being held. So the night of August 6th, Kylie and a couple of friends got into her 2013 silver Honda CR-V, and they headed off to the Prosser family campgrounds. Kylie's friends would report back saying that they were having a great time, kind of hanging out. Did y'all just see that fly? It's an absolute show today, you guys. I'm so sorry. Kylie's friends would look back and report that there were a few people who got into physical fights for fun. There was no beef. They were just like entertaining people. So there were several pictures of people like standing around in groups watching them kind of tussle it out. There were no bad vibes. Everyone was getting along just fine. Kylie's friends did say that several older men came up to them and were pressing them to take hits pretty heavily. They were insistent that they did this. And a couple of Kylie's friends got so uncomfortable that they ended up even leaving the party. Kylie had an ex-boyfriend named Jagger, and looking through Kylie's phone records, they had been texting the night prior. Jagger was kind of venting about his day. He was going through a hard time, and Kylie was just kind of texting back like, "Oh, I'm really sorry to hear you're going through that. Whatever, whatever." She mentions going to this party, and he texted her back saying that she needed to be careful and not to do anything stupid. This conversation was the last conversation that Kylie would have with Jagger. Shortly after this conversation, Kylie's mom texted her asking when she would be home. Kylie texted back about 11:30 p.m. saying that she would be returning home within 45 minutes. So Kylie's mom didn't think anything of it because she is so reliable and responsible that Kylie said she was going to be home. She was home. So her mom didn't think anything of it. She said, "Be careful, have fun, I love you." And Kylie replied saying, "I love you too. I'll be home soon." When Kylie's mom woke up the next morning, Kylie was not home. She was not in her bedroom, and her car was not in the driveway. So Kylie's mom just kind of assumed that maybe she ended up staying at a friend's house, or maybe ended up camping out at the campgrounds, or, you know, then she kind of thought like, oh shit, like what if she got into a car accident, something like that. But she never would have dreamed what had actually happened to her daughter. Obviously, Kylie's mom just knew that something was not right. So she contacted police right away and filed a missing persons report. The sheriffs said that they could not immediately issue an Amber Alert because she only met 3 out of the 5 criteria. Law enforcement officers also stated that they did not think that this was an abduction, and they did not believe Kylie to be in any serious danger at this time. A search party was begun for Kylie, and friends, family, and law enforcement officers searched the area of the campground and obviously surrounding areas. Law enforcement officers would also interview about half of the people that attended this party, which was anywhere between 100 and 150 people. Obviously, this did not generate any significant leads. It was said by several of these kids that they thought other people were not coming to speak up because they were afraid that they would get in trouble, and a lot of them were going off to college, so they didn't want their college career to be in jeopardy because they were out, you know, partying, drinking, and probably smoking, stuff like that. So upon looking at Kylie's phone records, her phone last pinged at about 12:30 a.m. at the Prosser family campground. Now, cops had said that just because her phone last pinged there does not mean that that's the last place that the phone was at. So they weren't entirely sure that that was the last place that Kylie was. It was said that tons of people interacted with Kylie throughout this party. Several people said that she did seem intoxicated and inebriated, but I mean, everybody was, so they didn't think anything of it. But none of them that were interviewed could say for sure that they saw her get into a vehicle and drive away. No one knows how she left. Now, tell me how there were 3 200 plus people that attended this party that didn't see Kylie leave. No one was looking in her general direction to see her get into a vehicle and leave. Love, make it make sense. As they were searching the campground, they did ground searches and also took out a helicopter to do like a aerial search of the campground. Obviously nothing turned up from that, so they got the idea to go ahead and search the water. When they searched the water, they said that they had dove for hundreds of hours and nothing came up. They did not find her. Now, it was said that they were hesitant to search these waters because this lake got up to 60 feet deep and was very dark, very murky with extremely low visibility. So this was going to be very hard regardless of if she was in this lake or not. It was going to be very difficult to find her unless she was just offshore. We'll get there. We're gonna get there. Throughout the first day of her search party, over 1,800 tips were called into the tip line. And obviously when the internet gets word of this, there were a lot of conspiracy theories going around as to what had actually happened to her, which would lead to a lot of unnecessary tips being called in because of all of these conspiracy theories. So it was encouraged by police to only call in 100% factual eyewitness tips because it was clogging up their resources. They had to go through all of these tips that were leading to nowhere, and so it was wasting their time. So some of Kylie's friends were interviewed on TV, and one of the girls kind of stuck out to me first as soon as I saw her talking. Now, we all know that I'm obsessed with the Chris Watts case, as I'm sure all of America is. And one of the things that they first pointed out, like everybody started pointing their finger at Chris when he did the news interview. He was kind of like giggling and suspicious, and he was like, I just want them home. Like, and he also referred to them in past tense. So that was kind of like a dead giveaway to the general public. Now, when Magdalene, or Mags, got on her interview, she acted the same exact way. She was kind of giggling, acting all like, just kind of like ho-hum about it all. Like, yeah, we all loved her and we all want her to know that we loved her and we did everything we could. You loved her, so now that she's missing, you don't. How do you know that you loved her? Y'all, if I cough one more time today. Mags was the first one to report that when the older guys came up to them pushing on these girls, that she was the first one to leave because she got so uncomfortable. So she got in the car with her boyfriend and left. Another one of her friends, Samantha, was also interviewed. I'm so sorry, I keep messing with my hair. Kylie's friend Samantha was also interviewed, and she had stated that she thought that the older guys have something to do with it, and that the older guys that were pushing the bong hits were the ones responsible. That was her first indication. That's what her gut feeling was telling her. And so she also got into the vehicle with her boyfriend. She was supposed to ride home from the party with Kylie because she rode to the party with Kylie. But she was so weirded out, so she just got into the vehicle with her boyfriend and drove off, leaving Kylie very intoxicated, which she stated that Kylie was very intoxicated and she just left her there. As an adult, I have feelings about this. I feel that at 16, 17, 18 years old, I would have never left my friend at a party where I felt uncomfortable. I would have snatched her ass up. Honey, you are coming with me, love. Goodbye. Like, we're done here. So for her to leave her bestie at a party, it just doesn't sit right with me. But then again, like, not everyone thinks the way I do, so I'm going to try to keep my opinion out of it. But okay, moving on. Samantha had posted on social media that she was hosting a teen to teen talk, which this was where all of the kids and young adults that went to the party, they were all supposed to meet up and kind of talk about what they saw and piece together any part of the puzzle that they could get. The name Teen to Teen Talk was supposed to reinforce the fact that if someone knew something, they could tell one of their friends, and then that could be reported to authorities and parents. So no law enforcement officers or parents were allowed at this Teen to Teen Talk because they didn't want anyone to hold back any information in case they were afraid of their reputation. So the Teen to Teen Talk was supposed to be like a protected, confidential way to get any information needed. Side note. Another opinion, imagine that, Jeani has an opinion. In my opinion, she also seemed a bit sketchy, so I'm wondering if she didn't host this teen to teen talk to kind of see what others knew. Now, that is my opinion. Do not take my word for it. If you want to do all your research and make your own guesses and opinions, feel free. I am just here stating my opinion. I don't have a dog in the fight, so my opinion doesn't even matter. I am just reporting all of my thoughts. So after this teen to teen talk, the law enforcement agency that was looking over Kylie's case had came out with a statement saying that it did not matter what they consumed. They would not be in trouble. They just needed to know what happened to Kylie. So if anyone had any information about that night's events leading up to Kylie's disappearance, that there would be no repercussions for those who were obviously uninvolved, but a witness to any possible leads. They also encouraged people to submit pictures and videos of that night. Hundreds of pictures and videos were sent into the tip lines, but nothing generated any productive leads. So somehow, some way, there are two different stories to this. Adventures with Purpose is a group dive team that do dive adventures, and some of them are to help solve cases. They obviously got many requests from the public, and this is how it is believed by majority they got word of this case. However, they had stated that they were contacted by law enforcement. So whether or not they were contacted by the general public or by law enforcement, I'm wondering if they didn't just say they were contacted by law enforcement so no feelings got hurt and they didn't want people to think that they were stepping on the cops' toes. Something's a little fishy. I don't know. We're getting there. Hold on. It was stated that law enforcement requested AWP to come and investigate because they didn't have the technology that AWP did to investigate the waters. Search the waters, investigate the waters. You know where I'm getting at. Number 1, it's Monday. Number 2, it's a holiday. Number 3, I'm sick. Give your girl a break. Apparently, the conversation that AWP had with law enforcement, they requested like documents and stuff, and the cops were like, we've already searched this water, we've spent hundreds of hours doing it, she is not in these waters. And so they were like, okay, well, we still want to check it out. So at that moment in time, I feel like law enforcement felt like they didn't have any other choice but to kind of give up all of their stuff to AWP so they could search the waters. So they only searched the waters for a few minutes before they found a vehicle. They went out on their little boat, and apparently there's some type of sonar technology to like send sound waves through the water, and it tells you when the sound waves bounce off of something very like heavy, like metal, like a vehicle, or if it's more soft, like tree logs, fish, things like that. So only a few minutes in, they spot something in the water that seems to be very hard, like metal. They send a magnet down to see if the metal is magnetic. Of course it is. So they dive down there and they find what seems to be a 2013 silver Honda CR-V. I'm injecting my opinion one more time. Why is it that law enforcement does not have the technology to do the job that AWP just did? They stated that they spent hundreds of man hours looking through these waters, and it took AWP minutes to find her vehicle. I don't want to blame the police that were there on the scene. I'm sure they did what they could, whatever. However, I feel like this could have been done a lot better and with more quality and more urgency than what they did when they searched the water. AWP stated that they turned in all of the information into law enforcement, and they also let the family know that her vehicle was found. If you want to go to AWP's YouTube page, I'll link them down below. They have a lot of good footage, and they're supposedly coming out with a lot more. But as of right now, they know details that the public is not allowed to know. So they put out a statement saying that more would be coming soon. They're just very limited on what they are allowed to disclose right now. In the video, I believe his name is Kyle. He dove down. He was the one to find the vehicle, and he actually found what seemed to be a human body in the trunk of the vehicle. AWP stated at that time they turned in all of the information into law enforcement and let the family know kind of an update on what they found. When law enforcement did the press conference on all of this information, they had said that they only found out all of the information online. AWP states that they turned it into law enforcement. So the officer conducting the press conference had said that it is possible that since there's so many people on this case that something could have fell through the cracks, AWP could have contacted someone and let them know, and the general public of the officers didn't hear all of that information. But you would think the person doing the press conference would do his due diligence and get all of the information that he could to be able to tell us what we need to know. Once more, my opinion.
That's my opinion!
I think that law enforcement was a little bit pissed off that AWP found this so soon. I think they were a little bit salty because they threw a lot of shade at AWP. And in my opinion, they should be thankful that this case is being pushed along and more progress is being made. I mean, why are we mad? So looking at pictures, and I'll put one in here, looking at pictures of the vehicle that they had pulled out, there's a couple of things I want to know. Number one, her driver's side mirror was busted off. Number two, her driver's side door was dented as if she had ran into something. Number three, her driver's side window was shattered, and in the picture you can see little remnants of like what's left over of the window. Number four, her back window on her driver's side was rolled down. Here's the kicker. Now, there were two rumors. One was that Kylie was buckled in the back seat of the vehicle. The other one, which was proven to be factual, Kylie was found in the trunk. I am a psychopath, okay? I looked up what happens when you drive your car into water. The way I took things is very, very difficult to get out of a vehicle that is submerged underwater if your windows are rolled up and your doors are shut. You have about 60 seconds before your car is completely submerged into water to roll down your windows and get the fuck out of there. Now, Kylie's windows were rolled down and one window was even busted. So that being said, she either had to be unconscious or so inebriated that the water had picked her up out of the driver's seat and threw her back into the trunk. Looking at her vehicle, the back seats with the headrest makes it very limited as to how much space it is for her to be rushed with water all the way back to the trunk. So in my opinion, Kylie is 5'7". Granted, she's only 118 pounds, but Kylie is 5'7". I'm 5'2", and I would struggle getting over that back seat in air, okay? Like, not submerged in water, in air. I would struggle getting through to the trunk. So you're not gonna tell me that the water washed in that hard to blow her all the way to the back of her vehicle. I think she was placed there. That's my opinion. I don't know for sure. We'll know later on. So I'm curious to see what the toxicology report brings back to see just how intoxicated Kylie was, and also to see if there was water in her lungs, because if she was already passed out or passed on, there's not going to be a whole lot of water in her lungs. So then we'll know that foul play was involved, which in my opinion, I believe there was foul play involved. Okay, so here's a couple things that I want to know. When they did the ground searches, how did they not see tracks in the sand before the water? How did they not see her vehicle tracks in the sand? Who didn't hear her hit something, probably a tree, and drive into the water? Someone was looking in that general direction. You're not going to tell me 300 people were there and they are not going to look in that direction. Someone saw something. Someone knows something. Let me just get up close and personal with you guys because you already know Jeani has a lot to say. Someone knows something, and this is just an online rumor. I don't know for sure, but someone said one of the girls who was last seen with Kylie has a very close family member in law enforcement. Now, it's just a conspiracy theory, but it makes sense. It would make sense that they searched the water. She's having a bad dream. it would make sense that they had searched the waters and nothing came up and they knew nothing. It is possible that some of the law enforcement officers know more than we know that they know. I don't know. It doesn't add up to me, and I will probably be making a part 2 because this is an ongoing case, and so more information is coming out each and every update that we get. So I may not make that next week's Terror Tuesday video, but I may just have to throw one extra video in for you guys because I am deeply invested in this case, and I truly believe that this was not just a tragic accident. I think that someone had something to do with this. So what are your thoughts? What do you think? Do you think that this was just a really bad accident and super unfortunate, or do you think that someone was involved? Let me know. Either way, this is devastating, and I feel so bad for Kylie's family and friends. My heart goes out to them. I could not imagine raising such a good girl, instilling the good morals and the good heart that she had. She worked so hard to chase her dreams and go to college and be super successful, and God, she was adorable. Ugh. All my love and all my good vibes, and oh God, everything goes to her family. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you didn't enjoy this video, but I hope that you are interested in this case and you keep tabs on it as well, because I hope that if someone were involved and this was not just an accident, I hope they were held accountable, and I hope y'all rot in in prison. Fuck you guys. That's all I have to say. Okay, let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know if you have any suggestions for next week, and I believe that's it. Say hi. Oh, you're my pretty baby. You're my girl. Oh, she's getting the light going, guys. Oh, you're so good. Go blue for it. You're a pretty, my bunny girl. Yeah, you're so beautiful. Oh, baby on. You say bye-bye? Bye-bye.